gonna do two things this morning. I'm gonna do a Q&A with all you guys, and go ahead and if you can line up all your questions you want to ask. Even though I'm practicing steaks, it's not really a steak Zoom session. It's more for me to kind of say hello, connect with you, and see if you guys have any burning barbecue questions. Let's see here. My wife listened to you from last time. She bought me a Weber. Okay, good for you. So for those who have wives watching, I will authorize over Zoom for you to spend up to $2,000 from your Christmas budget to buy you some barbecue doodads that you like. So have your spouse call me if they need to. I will repeat the authorization over the phone. I can't be responsible for what happens to you after that, but you're on your own. But I'd be happy to help you guys out and gals. All right, so let's go ahead and get started and kind of give you an idea of what I'm trying to do. You can see I have some steaks here. I've been kind of learning my ropes about the SCA and kind of how to cook steaks. And I'm a very experienced competitor on the KCBS circuit and the IBCA circuit, PNWBA, but I really haven't cooked steaks in competition. I cook steaks a lot in class. So I've been teaching class 12 years, so we do a normal ribeye steak in class, show my students how to cook the steak, kind of how to season it, how to get it up to temp, and how to get those grill grade marks on it like this. So what I thought I'd try to do is kind of, since Donna gave me a SCA Steak Cook-Off Association kind of a grilling set for my birthday. You guys know that I'm retiring on December 31st. My last official work day after over 3 decades building data center is going to be December 30th. So I'm kind of trying to ease into my December 31st mode, because in 2022, I'll be able to focus on you guys, my Patreons, and all the gals out there to kind of further barbecue and continue the barbecue journey. So Donna thought I might be bored next year, so she bought me a little steak cooking kit, and I have some steaks I'm practicing this morning. So I thought, why don't I just kill two birds with one stone, share with you guys the SCA journey that I'm going to take, and as well as kind of open up this for a Q&A for me to kind of address any questions you guys might have in cooking in general. I mean, if you want to cover anything like brisket, ribs, and everything, I'd be happy to do that while I kind of cook my steaks here. And my steaks are kind of still resting. They are not at the right temperature yet. I want to kind of get them a little higher, so that's why I have them near the pit to kind of warm up. I got my butter, compound butter. The compound butter has a little bit of my chicken rub, as well as some garlic, granulated garlic, and a little bit of unsalted butter. So we're gonna do the steak. The steaks will really be very fast. It's only gonna be about 75 seconds on each side times 4. And then we'll let the steaks warm up to the SCA temperature of about 135, 134 degrees, and then let it carry to 138. And I'm gonna go try to slice it and then see how the results are coming out. So that's kind of like what I was hoping to do this morning. This will not take a long time, but I thought, it might be nice to kind of talk to you guys a little bit, kind of share an update on what's happening in life as I'm preparing for a big jump into retirement. I don't think that I need any push to go into retirement. I've done what I've done for a long time, train my crew, and I keep telling my crew that one day I'm gonna, head out to the sunset and do barbecue. But you guys will have to run the IT shop. So that's kind of things I'm gonna do. Okay, Steve's asking, what are your techniques to get the most from your what?
I was curious what your techniques are to get the most out of your pellet cooker, to I guess to close the gap between your standard wood offset smoker, when using a pellet, how to get the most, smoke, and how to minimize that gap between a pellet and a regular offset cooker.
Okay, the simple answer for you is that buy the right pellet cooker. Buy this one. Okay, so you see this, Steve? I just did a class yesterday, so we have a full house here, so a little bit dirty, but buy this one. I have this one also. I have two of these. I got 2 of these, and I have other ones also. And this one cooks as well as this. We've unattended wireless, Wi-Fi, ease on the phone. And if you want to get as good a result as you can on a regular pit, for some reason, the Weber Smoke Fire works really well. They're not paying me to say this. I bought this unit, so it's not like Weber sponsoring me at all. But I like to torture test equipment, and I only pick the best equipment that I think is good value, gets the job done, is super reliable, and gives me championship results. So the unique thing about the Weber Smoke Fire is that it's got the you put the flavor riser grates in it. I'll show you what I mean here. So these are another big black belt tip. You put your pan so that you don't get any dirt down and you get grease fire. So it's prone to grease fire. It's not perfect. It's like that, you know, British convertible, where when you turn the headlights on, the windshield wipers stop working. So it's kind of like that, but if you can overcome this. So this is a flavorizer bar. And you can see from down here that the fire pot is down there. I don't know if this is bright enough to see, but hopefully you can see that. So because of this flavorizer bar design, unlike the normal design that you see in traditional pellet cookers, where there is a huge, deflector pan and grease pan, I find that the deflector and grease pan inhibits the smoke flavor, also inhibits the smoke ring. So between this design and this design, it is my unbiased opinion that Weber really nailed the pellet cooker design. So that's the kind of an answer for you, Steve, that if you want to cook a pellet, you want to get the same results as you can get of an offset and like a pellet, like a Weber Smokey Mountain. The Weber pellet cooker, I think, is by far the best. So that's my 2 cents.
What's the pit you're using for the steaks?
We are using my Costco gas grill. So right now it's running 550. That's where I want it. That's about right. I'm trying to calibrate the kind of the burner here. So I'm trying to figure out how to tweak the burner so I can get kind of the same temperature for like 550 on all the grates. But it looks like it's working.
And those are grill grates on top, right?
There's the grill grates on top from my buddy Brad Barrett. I have good news for you guys. So Chris Garin just joined. So Chris is one of our Patreons, and Chris is a steak cook-off champion. So hey, Chris, you there?
Hey guys.
Hey, you gotta unmute. So we have about a dozen folks on the line here. So Chris, I'm gonna show them what I'm gonna do, but actually I should defer to you to explain how to cook steak, since you won a couple of several contests already. You have your golden ticket to go to Dallas in 2022. I'm still going to have to catch up with you to try to win a golden ticket. So why don't you just tell everybody what a golden ticket is and why we are all trying to win one?
So basically, you're just cooking like the best steaks ever against several contestants. It's all about detail, paying attention to details, and getting the correct appearance, doneness, texture, taste. Those are the things that the 6 judges are looking for. So it's all about practicing a lot. I practiced so many times before competing in these steak cook-off association contests. So yeah, my huge tip is to just practice and see what works.
So Chris has been cooking with our little small group of SCA people, and we've been practicing. Chris has been kind of teaching me how to do steaks like this. You saw the video that I featured with Chris and Freddie and Josh, Steve over at the Woodshed in Orange County at Patty's parking lot of her business. And if you're wondering why these steaks look like they have a cardiac arrest, Chris, you can explain why do we do this to the steak?
So yes, we do all that crazy thing, putting I could see he put the butcher's twine and the toothpicks and looks like cocktail skewers. We do all that because we that basically keeps the steak together during the cook. Because while you're cooking it, the steak, so it just keeps it together.
And tell them why this steak is so weird. It looks like a teardrop. This is not how a steak looks like.
No, that's not. Yeah. I guess, well, the judges, I guess through the years, I just used to seeing a steak, beautiful like that without the tail of the ribeye. So I guess, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. Like, we're just used to cutting that tail off, and yeah, I can't explain that.
Yeah, so the reason we do that is because they judge you on appearance, and
Right.
the way we handle the appearance is that they actually will make a cut, right? So this is with the top of the steak. This is the eye. So Chris told me to put the knot on the end so that I know which is which. So you can see here, I put a knot at the top. So that is kind of the eye here, and that's kind of the rib cap, or we call it the spinalis dorsi, and that the judges will actually eat only this part. And this part is cut in half and right down the middle by one of the judges, and they will measure you on the doneness on a photograph. So the photograph has 5 different pictures in it, and you have to match exactly the color to score a perfect score of 10 on the appearance. And the reason that we put the string on this end is so I know that when I'm cooking it, that's the top, that's the end that is the eye. So this goes into the box this way. So the box will hinge this way. So the box is going to hinge this way, and the steak is going to be pointed towards the door. So I'm going to try to align the steak when I put it in the box so that the steak is going to be cut right exactly where I want the officials to cut it, so that they can check me for doneness. So it's a lot of kind of Chris, what do we say, complexity? But that's kind of how things are to cook a steak, right? So I'll pause here to see if you guys have any questions for Chris and me on what this crazy madness is about, cooking a steak. Because when I first learned about it, I thought this is so bizarre. I went to my very first contest last Saturday. Chris was there, a whole bunch of us there. So I had my first kind of baby steps into the SCA world. I kind of finished about halfway down the pack, which is okay, considering all the things that went wrong with my steak, not knowing how to control the temperature. Donna was so kind to give me a Weber Go Anywhere, which is a little tiny little grill for my birthday, and she brought custom grates and everything. So I'm going to feature a video showing you guys what she did to create the custom kit. So I just had a hard time learning how to use the kit. So never practice in a contest because too many things can go wrong, and you only have a small window for 30 minutes to turn in the heat. But I'll pause here and let you guys ask questions about this steak madness.
I was going to say, what do you look for when you're picking your steak?
Okay, I can give you a short answer. I'm the newbie. So Chris, maybe you can talk about the tri-hard versus non-tri-hard and the spinalis, and then the marbling and the grates.
Okay, so so basically you have 30 seconds once you get out there and choose your steaks. You're basically looking for, I would pick a one with a larger, very large spinalis as much as you can, and it has good marbling. And the second thing I would look for, my preference is tri-hards. Do you have what a tri-hard looks like there, Harry?
They're all tri-hards. Unfortunately, I seasoned it already. So
okay,
maybe we can just explain that on the upper part of the cow, near the shoulder of the cow comes from a primal cut called the chuck. So from the chuck of the cow, which is the shoulder of the cow, kind of like, on a pig where you get the Boston butt, where the pork shoulder is. So on a cow, imagine your own shoulder. You have a big chunk of muscle on the shoulder of the cow. The rib eye actually starts somewhere near the shoulder, and it goes all the way down towards the tail of the cow. The muscles on the top part of the chuck, where the rib eye is embedded, has another muscle in between called the tri-hard. So when you slice the rib eye closer towards the head of the cow, that cross section of the rib eye will have 3 muscles: the eye, the spinalis, which is the rib cap, and then the tri-hard. The tri-hard is also called the spinalis minor. So if you look into a butchering book, they call it the spinalis major and the spinalis minor. The spinalis minor is a small muscle that runs the nose to tail of the cow, and the muscle kind of shrinks and tapers off after, I believe, the seventh bone. So you're gonna get the tri-hard or the spinalis minor with the spinalis major in the top part of the slices when you slice the ribeye. So that's kind of an explanation without having a picture of it. It's kind of hard to imagine, but I had these 3 are tri-hard, so you can barely see the right here. That's the tri-hard right here, and that's the spinalis, and that is the regular, just the one with just the rib cap. because according to Chris, right, you cannot always get the low bung number where you get to draw the steaks first, because the competitors will want to pick the try-hard first. So Chris, you always try to pick the try-hard, right, when you compete. What I decided to do this morning is I'm actually testing out 3 recipes. So, oh, Chris is going back and put it back on. Okay, somebody's asking what is the duck fat for? The duck fat is used as the grease to cook the steak and also to clean the grates. So that's a short answer. Why are we using duck fat? You know, confit is supposed to be very tasty. So if you go to a hoity-toity restaurant and they serve you duck fat fries, they charge you $12. So I guess this is something that competitors on the circuit use, and you know, they seem to think that duck fat works. So I'm not going to argue. We always say monkey see, monkey do.
Quick question.
Okay.
How important is the choice of beef for your cut on your own, either personally? How much difference does it make? And B, how much time frame do you typically use for your seasonings prior to them hitting the grill?
Okay, for home cooking, you need to be aware that there are generally 3 grades of beef available in America. Are you in America? You're in America, right? Cool. All right. So America is quite simple. You just remember 3 words: PCS, prime, choice, and select. And of course, the tastier one will be the prime. They usually have more marbling. The meat is more tender, and usually the cows are usually better cared for. So that's the best you can buy is prime. With the COVID supply chain issues and the problem with the meat industry, I've just paid $24 a pound for prime. And you can buy choice. Choice is running you about maybe $18 to $20. And then you have then also the select steaks, which runs you about maybe $12 to $15. So beef prices, if you have not checked recently, they have almost doubled, sometimes tripled. You used to be able to buy prime for about $15. Now it's about $25. Always buy prime. Below those PCS choices of beef, you have 5 other grades below. The ones you don't really see that are in the kind of hamburgers or made into beef stock, you know, the Campbell's beef stock, they use beef to make that. So it's kind of like, I think it's cookie cutter, Canucks, utility, commercial, and so on and so on. But don't worry about those 5 grades, but there's basically 8 grades of beef in America. The ones you want to worry about is PCS, prime, choice, select. How long you put the rub on and how long you wait to rest before you cook is really a factor of whether you want the steak to come up to temperature. So if you are going to grill the steak immediately on a hot griddle or a hot grill, I would recommend you let the steak rise to room temperature. You can only do that at home. You cannot do that in a restaurant, because if the health department shows up, you have a bunch of steak laying on the kitchen restaurant countertop, you're gonna get cited by the health department, because if you cook in a commercial setting, you must keep your meat below 40 degrees. If it's out in the open, you cannot just leave your steaks out to air to come up to room temp. But at home, if you're grilling, you can go ahead and let the steaks come up to room temperature before you start grilling. If you're going to smoke the steak before you sear, then my recommendation would be to let it sit in the refrigerator at the coldest possible level, so that you have a long temperature gradient from the time it comes up from the fridge all the way to the time you're going to cook it. So in my class, I teach my students to bring the steak out of the refrigerator around, say, 36 degrees, and put it into a 275-degree pit to smoke it until the internal temperature is 110. And then after that, you can go ahead and sear it after that. So that's kind of how the variations of the steaks are done. And then the other tip I want to give you also is that if you are going to be searing the steaks, it's okay to put some oil on it, because a lot of cookbooks tell you brush some olive oil, put the rub on, and put it on the grill. That's fine if you're going to sear the steak. That's not fine if you want to smoke. Why? When you put the olive oil on, or any kind of canola oil, or any kind of butter on the steak, it clogs the pores. So once you clog the pores, your steak is not going to be able to absorb the smoke during the smoking phase. And as to how long you leave the steak on with the rub, it depends on the saltiness. If your steak rub is very salty, then don't leave it that long, because a dry brine effect happens. The ions of the sodium chloride penetrate the steak. So if you have a steak rub that's not so salty, you can leave it on a little bit longer.
Harry, what about grill gun or sous vide gun searing a steak rather than putting it over coals or whatever?
Okay, let me show you guys what a grill gun is. So if you guys ever want to be 007, right? This is the kind of tool you need. So I highly recommend this tool. Okay, I highly recommend this tool because this is the funnest pitmaster tool you can ever have in your hands. They make a short and a long gun version. I have both, thanks to the kind folks at Grill Gun. This is known as a sous vide gun, and this is great for starting fires. And it's also great for searing steaks. So you can actually turn this thing on like so, and you can sear your steaks, right? I don't know, Chris, Garen, did anybody on a SCA circuit use a grill gun to sear their steaks for competition?
Not that I'm aware of, no. But
okay, should I be the first?
Hey, you can try. You could try sous vide and searing with that thing.
Okay,
yeah.
so I need two, right? I need to hold two guns, right, like that, right, and then show up at the contest and intimidate the other competitors. So maybe at the next SCA contest, I'll show up with two. I'll bring my long one and my short one, and I'll go around and intimidate the teams. Right? Don't mess with Harry. He's brought his grill gun. So it'll be fun to try.
Should bring that while you're walking.
So James, to answer your question, I would love to try this on a steak here. So it's gonna be a heck of a lot of fun, scaring the hell out of all the other competitors. Okay.
What grade of steak do they give you to turn around and during the competitions? Who selects the beef for the competition? And is it prime steak that they give you to work with, or is it choice or select, or how do the competition corporation gives you that?
Chris, you know the answer. I think I know the answer, but I'm not an expert.
So basically, it's whatever the host would give. The last two competitions, they were actually low grades of cuts. Surprisingly, I would say high grade select or low grade of choice. I'm guessing it's because of the rising cost prices of beef. So the reason for the host using those kinds of grades. So yeah, I'm sorry. And a few times in the past, they did use prime and even Wagyu. My very first competition, they used Wagyu grade, and boy, those were tough to cook because a lot of fat conducts heat, and it's very difficult to get the donut right in Wagyu.
Yeah, the beef prices the way they are. I mean, I heard that the average meat bill for a contest is like $5,000. So if you're a promoter, you're paying prize money. You're buying the steaks. You're paying the SCA reps, hotel and airfare. You're paying a fee. So really, it is the COVID supply chain and other challenges really created a huge problem for competitors. We're happy that we can actually go out and compete now that things have calmed down, but many contests have been canceled. I've been off the circuit for 2 years now because of COVID, so it was nice to just go out and cook, barbecue, and just have fun. Chris, would you agree when I say that the SCA atmosphere and energy is very different in KCBS? Everything is so much more friendly, laid back, relaxed.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's because I would say SCA is it's a one-day deal. I mean, it's an all-day thing. It starts from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. and it's way more stress than KCBS. I tried KCBS one time. Yeah, it is a lot more work than SCA. I guess you get the same people that come to these competitions because it is way more inexpensive than KCBS. So you get more attendance from ex-KCBS people or people who compete in there. And I get to know a lot of these people over time and made friends.
All right, so we are ready to cook. So we can continue to answer questions, and Chris is gonna help me out. I'm gonna get my grill grades on the ridge to about 550-ish. I'm gonna try a little lower temperature. I think I used to do a 60-second at 600 degrees, which is easy to remember. That's what I teach my students in class. In fact, we just had a class yesterday. What's schoolhouse in my backyard. You can see that my crew did a good job cleaning up. Everything is put away, but this was full of people yesterday, and 200 pounds of meat. So today I'm going to try to kind of get this thing seared. I'm trying to get it on 550-ish. Okay, that's about right. And I'm gonna cook 3 steaks at a time, so it's gonna be pandemonium. So we'll see if I can pull it off. You'll get a little bit of oil on it. Use, Chris said use duck fat, so I listened to Chris. I bought this from Amazon. This is like what, $10, Chris? $20 or something?
Yeah, you can get that on Amazon. Sometimes you get lucky and find it on Walmart for $10.
Okay, all right. So I'm gonna set the steak on. Right, I'm gonna. I like the X flip, Harry's X flip. You see me do many times on my videos. I'm gonna put the steak on. So there's sample 1, 2, and 3. Sample 1 is I have 3 different recipes. I'm trying to see if I can get my steak rub going. So I'm gonna put it on now. So need to press steak number 2. Steak number 3. Okay, I'm gonna put a straight press. I only have 1 right now, so I'm gonna put straight press on this one here. I'll start my clock, and I'm gonna do like 130. I warmed up my my butter here, so I have a little bit of my Slabby Daddy competition chicken rub in here, and a little bit of granulated garlic. I find that flavor works really, really well. So I'm gonna try to get it to about 135 degrees, right, Chris? Right, for the carryover.
Yes.
So the carryover depends on how hot it is. So when I did the 600-degree one, the carryover was very fast. So I really had to pull around 132, and you carry over to 140. So I'm trying a lower temperature with 530, 540 degrees. I'm doing a little bit longer, a minute, 30 seconds or so. And then I think the carryover will be a little less, I hope. But anyway, you guys are gonna be watching this live and see how this goes. More importantly, I hope to impart the lesson to you that cooking is not like a robot. Every day it's a different cook. And if you don't use gas, it's a lot harder. You have to use charcoal. So a lot of the teams have very, how should I say, complicated routines, right? Where they prepare the food and then they follow exactly the same routine. They even count the number of briquettes they use, the brand of briquettes they use. So I'm just using the gas grill because today I'm just practice run here. So it's coming up to 10 seconds. When the timer goes off, I'm going to go ahead and try to do a few things quickly. I got my brush. Okay, timer went off. I pick up the steak. So give it a brush. So spray. Flip it over. Put it on the side. Okay, I'm gonna put the braid back on. I'm gonna do this one now. So ordinarily you only do 1 steak, but I'm gonna be doing quite a few steaks today. So hopefully I get the result I need. Okay, and put it back and flip it over. So get this one off. Clean the grates, spray. Okay, start the clock again. I'm doing the second side now. And I already screwed up. Okay, that's okay. I screwed up. I used to flip the wrong side, but that's okay. So I usually do an X flip, but in the haste of trying to cook 3 steaks, this one is messed up, but that's okay. I'll fix it. So Chris can chime in, but the reason that I prefer to flip it over to grill the sides alternately instead of doing the diamond marks on one side is because I want to avoid something called the gray ring. So Chris, you want to chime in on your thoughts on the gray ring?
The gray ring. I've never personally never experienced that. Is that when you take it off from like from a cold temperature, like if it's been sitting in the fridge for a long time or in the freezer, and then you cook it right away? Is that what the gray band is, or the gray ring?
Yeah, the gray ring is that kind of that ring when you slice into the steak, right? You have the perfectly seared outside and you have the pink, and then in the middle you got a very thick gray ring. So the gray ring sometimes form, and I don't think it's desirable. Now, I'm not an SCA judge, so I don't know, but that's something I'm trying to avoid because I notice that when I cook it, sometimes there's a gray ring. So I like to do the alternate flip. A lot of people just flip on one side. For example, this one is flip on one side. Okay, about 60 seconds. Let me give you a second here. Let me fix this one. So now I'm going to pick this one up now. Clean the grate. All right, and we'll go this way.
Kind of money can you earn in these competitions?
Well, the first place prize you can win up, $1,000 is the usual payout. The second place usually 700, $500. Third place 400, $300. It goes all the way to 10th place, and the last 5 places is usually like $100, $50 around there.
So are you doing this just for fun and excitement, or are you doing this to make a career out of it?
Who are you talking about, Harry? Harry's doing for fun.
Yeah, it's basically just for fun. I don't think you can make money out of this thing. It's kind of like gambling. You don't know what the judges would like, but hey, if you find something that works and stay consistent, then yeah, very likely it can become a career. So I've seen people who've done that. Actually, there's more steak competitions in the Midwest and East Coast, and there are some people who chase points, meaning they go out and win and they earn points. And whoever has the most points of the year, they get the special ring on March of that year. In the world, steak champion. Usually it's like the first or second week of March. But yeah, I've heard people at least attend at least 50 to 60 of those events in that year. That's a lot. Yeah.
So Chris, in theory, if you won $1,000 every time you went out, you won first place in every contest. So if you did 50 contests, you win $50,000.
Yeah, that's a lot of money.
Yeah, and then you would only work Saturdays, right? So that's not a bad career. Make 50 grand, work about half a day on Saturday, make $50,000 a year.
Absolutely. And if you win the world championship, that's $10,000 first place, and the second place gets $5,000.
Yes.
So I've seen that you had butter. Is there a reason that they use butter instead of like beef tallow or bone marrow?
Yeah, I mean, I honestly never heard of anyone using beef tallow on their steaks, but it's something you can experiment. Maybe, it might work.
Have you tasted beef tallow? It's not no flavor. So you don't want to put something that's no flavor. If you watch my videos, right? Beef tallow doesn't work. It's best to use what do you call pork fat. Pork fat tastes a lot better than beef tallow. Beef tallow is completely worthless. There's no flavor. Oh, I got confused now. It's on this side here.
Actually, I know someone who's done the pork fat. Jeremy Yoder from Mad Scientist Barbecue. He's actually competed in the SCA with the pork fat. He has a video on it on his YouTube, Harry.
Okay, I'll go check it out. Yeah, because I was with him when I was cooked the brisket. I told him use pork fat is better than brisket, because pork fat actually has a much better flavor.
Yeah. Yep. And I don't know if the type of fat makes a difference, like Wagyu beef fat versus regular non-Wagyu.
Yeah, so Wagyu beef fat, just to let you guys know, has no flavor. So I don't recommend you use Wagyu beef fat. I wasted $25 on Amazon buying it. So I don't recommend beef fat. Use the best fat I found for cooking meat, any kind of meat, pork or chicken or beef, is actually rendered bacon fat. Smoky, salty, filtered, rendered bacon fat. That is the magic. So if you guys want to try it out, I recommend you try that one out. That's my analysis after doing dozens and dozens of different tests. So just a little note here, right? So you can see that the clarified butter is on top. So I'm not trying to get the solids. I'm just trying to dip my brush just into clarified butter. I don't want the solids because the solids will create a mark on the steak. So I just want a pristine, shiny steak. So I'm just using the clarified butter portion of the thing itself. Okay, 3 seconds here. Take it off here. Okay. This one here. Let's see, I started at 1, 2, 3, right? Okay, one. Uh-oh, I did it wrong. That's okay. See, I'm busy talking. I guess I realized I can't do a Zoom call and cook at the same time. All right, 1, 2, and 3. All right, this was not bad. Okay, all right.
That one looks good.
So this one is a fail. It's okay. This one is okay. This one had a big bubble. So hey, Chris, how do you solve this problem with the bubble here?
That's that looks like fat to me.
Okay, can I cut it off now? Can I cut it off now? Is it too late?
I will. Usually judges don't judge you on that for the fat, that fatty
Yeah,
area.
but it looks like a huge pimple, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm gonna do something, a little experiment here.
Okay.
So the fat just bubbled up. I had no control over the fat, right? So it came off.
Yeah.
Okay, so now I got a problem, right?
That's
think
a
a grill
problem.
gun will work? The grill gun will work here?
Maybe you could try. Yeah.
All right,
It
guys,
might make it
stand
work,
by,
I don't
stand
know.
by, stand by. Harry
Okay.
has always just need an excuse to use the grill gun here. This side is not good either. It's okay. This side, let me try. I like this side better.
No, surprising looks good. I was afraid of a grease fire or something.
That's okay. I'm used to grease fires.
Did I understand to say, you said you were using your chicken rub on the steak when you prep that in your butter mix, Harry? And what did you use for seasoning on the actual ribeyes themselves?
I made a variation of my moolah rub. So I think that teams seem to be winning using the moolah rub. So I decided that I would, start with the moolah rub and kind of work around the moolah rub to see if I can make it into a championship rub. The moolah rub is designed for brisket. So people, I won first place USA brisket with the moolah rub. It has a lot of characteristics that work well for beef. I have things like Worcestershire powder, I got shiitake mushroom, I got citric acid and stuff. But the brisket rub that I made was optimized to cook low and slow. So he's got a higher amount of cane sugar, maple sugar, and other sweeteners. So what I've done is I've taken my moolah, I rejiggered the formula to lower the amount of sugar. Make sense? Because this is high temperature cooking. So I decided to try and lower the amount of sugar, but preserve the same umami flavor, the same amount of saltiness, and then see if I can get the moolah to become a winning SCA rub. Make sense? That's my theory anyway. So you guys are my guinea pig in testing. I know it's about 115. That's about right. So I'm going to now close the lid. And this is one thing. Hang on. It's, okay, this is 126. Okay, so I'm going to close the lid now. I turn the gas grill down low. Hopefully you can see that. Gas grill is down low like that. And I'm going to close the lid and then let it come up to temp to about 130, 132-ish, and see what happens.
Hey,
I'm
Harry,
gonna let it rest and serve it. Yeah.
Harry, is that the Thermapen one?
What is this one here? No, this is my old one. This is one from England. I taught a class in England, and the owner, the inventor of Thermapen is the British, right? So I taught a class in London.
I know it's
it's a British company. It's a British company. So I taught a class in England, and I had like 40 students. So he made 40 custom Thermapens with my logo on them. So this is a very, very old Thermapen. So even my logo is kind of faded, but he made like 40 or 50 of these custom Thermapens with my logo. So I'm probably the only person in the world where the owner of Thermapen made custom pens for the class. So he was my student in the class. So he gave all the students a free Thermapen, and I got a couple of Thermapens from him. So this is a very old Thermapen, but it still works. So I still keep it around the house.
That's the original.
That's the I don't know what the model is. I lost track. I have the Thermapen 1. They just sent me a Thermapen 1, the one that has the special silver coated tip that is anti-bacterial. So go figure. And they have had so many versions of Thermapen that the latest one apparently is the best. So I always tell people, don't even bother to buy any other brand. Just buy Thermapen. They really work.
I agree. Yeah.
And it's $100. Yeah, it's expensive, but you're gonna buy only one. Just buy the best one, and you'll be fine. So I have to wait until this thing is coming up. Let me make sure I run my timer. Okay, check it after 1 minute. I want to get it to be about 132-ish. So the steak on the left was the hottest, so it was already at around 126. So I have to make sure that I stay on top of this and get it to the right temperature. Chris will be watching the cutting process, and he's gonna give us honest grade on what doneness it should be. So you're judged on appearance and doneness. The appearance has to do with how beautiful your steak looks. It's a 3-hour argument in Jerry Springer fistfight as to whether you should provide a cast iron pan flat sear, or you should provide a diamond style crosshatch marks. There's also a discussion as to whether you want to go to 47.5 degree crosshatch, you want to go to 45 degree, or you want to go to 90 degrees. So the world of barbecue is full of discussion and controversy. I don't know, Chris, are you a fan of any particular angle of the grades, what do you call the marks?
Yeah, I've had a lot of success with diamond sear mark.
Okay.
As far as appearance goes, I've done cross hatches, but mostly diamond sear marks is what I go for.
Okay.
And to answer your pan sear, some guys have done that, but a lot of judges are so used to seeing those grill marks.
When you're going to finish the cook like you're doing right now, I know you're doing it on gas, so you can drop the temp down inside your pit. But what if you're using like an egg where you've got it ramped up to get your grill grates up to the 500 degrees, and then you want to take them off to finish them to get your internal temp down? Is it okay to still finish them on the egg with like an indirect heating, but still with the temperature ramped up?
Yeah, you look at what I did. I put my pan on top. That makes sense. I made my gas grill into an indirect cooker. I put a baffle. The baffle is the cookie sheet, and I foiled it so the infrared reflectivity reflects the infrared electromagnetic radiation away from my steak. See that? So that's how I did on a gas grill, and that's how I did it on my grill also. The one that Donna gave me, the Weber Go Anywhere. Okay, let me check this one now. Yeah, on the what do you call, on the green egg, your SOL, because you know, the green egg is impossible to cool down. All right, 134. Let me pull it here. Okay, 136. Okay, pull this one. This is the second number 2 coming off. And I got the grill marks wrong, but that's okay. All right, this is the number 3 sample. Okay, number 3 is coming up slowly, 122. So we'll let it keep going. And
I want to add something about that, about the grills overheating. So what I use a water spray bottle. So you just spritz the grill grates if it gets too hot, like over 700, to cool it down. Usually it'll go down like 20-30 degrees.
Yeah, like that.
Yep, exactly like that. Yeah, that's what I use.
Yeah, I needed to clean my grill. I'm glad somebody asked me to do that.
Yeah, that's you need to have a really good clean grill grate. I've heard stories of people getting a sour taste from dirty grill grates.
And then you definitely need this tool here.
Is there a reason why you would do your sear marks first rather than slow cooking to get your meat temperatures up, or is it just because you can control the final meat temp easier by doing your sears first?
Well, for me personally, I like to sear first, then temp it up. I find it a lot easier. It's from my experience. I've done work the other way, reverse searing, which is smoke it up and temp it up, then sear. I found that a lot more difficult to get the internal doneness right.
Yeah, same here. So when I do my normal class, I teach my students to cook the steak to 110 and then we sear it. But that's more for backyard eating. When you do it that way, Chris is right. You can get perfect grill marks, and that's the name of the game, is getting perfect grill marks. So while the steak is coming up, this is kind of running a little slow here. So I'm gonna go ahead and start cutting off all the cardiac arrest string that I have on the steak here. Pull the pins out. And then in the contest, Chris told me to make sure you count the number of the number of skewers and everything, because if you leave anything in the steak, then you're gonna get disqualified.
Yeah.
So everything comes off in pairs. So if you pull a pair of this, right, and you count the number of toothpicks you have on the table, and it's an odd number, you're in trouble, because that means that something is left behind. So everything comes off in pairs. So this is another black belt tip. You want to make sure that when you pull your, at least for me, when I pull my wooden skewers, my toothpicks, I want to make sure I pull them in pairs like that. So I always make sure that it comes out in pairs. If not, I know I left something behind.
When using the grill grates, would you want to move your steak to a fresh area when you're flipping, since it brings down the temp when you cook on the top of the one?
The answer is yes, if the grill grate is uneven in temps. So you have to practice a lot to know your equipment. You have to practice a lot to know how your fire management is working, and you have to practice a lot to know what will give you the best result. So I think that both methods work. Some people insist on going to a fresh area. Some people want to go back to the same area because they know the temp is well controlled. I think it's kind of up to you. Chris, do you have any words on that? Any words of wisdom on that? You go to a different part of the same spot on the grill grate or different spot?
Oh, okay. Yeah. So I will do the same spot. My grill is it's a little tiny grill, so it doesn't really I don't really have much area to cook or sear on. So what I do is I temp up the grill. I use a thermometer gun to see where I am at when I check to see what the rails are. I usually like 50 to 550 to 600 around there, and I would always sear at that same spot. Yeah, that's just to make sure if you're gonna do it the same spot, to clean that area really well using a grill brush. And the new thing I like to use is a balled up aluminum foil. It actually works really well versus those wire grill brushes. And I also like to oil up a paper towel and use that to clean my grill grates. You want your grill grates to be shiny and clean while you're putting your steak on there.
Are you using an M5, Chris?
Actually, let me show you my grill. It's actually not an expensive grill. It's the cheapest grill you can find on Amazon, and I'm not kidding you. It's I've won first, second, third, fourth, fifth places on this thing. Top 10. That's what my grill looks like. It's a $60 grill from Amazon. And you can see here, this is what my grill looks like.
Chris is my kind of guy. He shows up with a Amazon $50 grill against your $800 M16, plus your $700 base for your M16, and he takes home top honors. That's my kind of guy.
Yeah, you honestly don't need a really high-end grill. You just got to master your grill. Then find what works.
How often are you guys cleaning the actual grates themselves, and how do you do?
Personally, I clean them right away. I want them super clean. You don't want that charred taste that's developed through grease buildup on the grill grates. Oh, and also on the grill too. I clean the internal. Usually I pressure wash it, or I use some kind of degreaser and clean it really well. Make sure if you're using a chemical degreaser to later fire up your grill to remove those chemicals, because you don't want that chemical taste on your steaks.
Are you flipping them over upside down and burning them off on the grill grates, or are you just pressure washing them? Or
yeah, that's what I do. I wash it. You can pressure wash it, or you can just put it in the sink. You just want your grill grate as clean as possible.
Just curious from a flavor and seasoning perspective, is the SCA tour pretty consistent across the board, or would you change your seasonings based on region, kind of like how KCBS is?
Well, that's yeah, it's sometimes I tried my same flavor profile a few times in the past few competitions, and sometimes it works, sometimes they don't. So I honestly don't know about I haven't been to like the Midwest or the East Coast competitions yet, because I know from what I heard, I know that the judges prefer more spicy in, say, like Texas, and they prefer like a more redder steak, which is all in the rub, really. So yeah, I haven't experienced that myself, so I can't answer that question.
I'm going to cut the steak now. Chris, you ready? Drum roll.
Yeah.
Okay, so the eye is here. I'm gonna cut right down the middle of the eye.
Harry, where's the big knife?
This is what Donna gave me. Came in my SCA kit, so I'm obligated to use whatever Donna gave me. Okay, this is the sample 1, sample 2, sample 3 is still cooking. Okay, Chris, I don't know if the camera is any good, but can you see the color fairly decently?
Yeah, it looks good.
Okay,
Looks
so
like
to be honest, on a photograph scale on a judging scorecard, right? This is what, a 9, 10, 8.
That looks like a 9, or because I do see a little bit red in there.
Okay, so it needs to go a little bit more, right? So my carryover wasn't enough, so
Yeah.
I pulled a little early, right? So I need to pull higher.
Yeah. What was your final pull temp on that one?
I pulled at 134 because it looked like it was going up a little bit fast. So I was running my grades at around 545, right? So at 545, pulling at 134 probably is premature, right? So I'm going to
Yeah.
go to 136, right? So the 2 degrees makes a difference. So you're right, it's a little bit pink here.
Well, actually, you rested too, like for 5 minutes.
Yeah, I did, right? I mean, it was about 5 minutes, right? Since I took it off, you guys were talking, so I'm gonna say 5 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah, I really think resting is important.
Yeah, resting is important. But I didn't put a foil over it. That's the problem. Maybe that's the problem. I didn't put a foil over it. I kind of left it on the countertop, and it's pretty cool out in my backyard this morning here. So maybe these are all the small details you have to kind of fuss over, right? Because you got to get the formula exactly right. Let me check this one now. Third one here. Okay, this one is at 127, so I better wait. I should let it go over a little bit because this is a bit underdone. All right, so that was the score for the what do you call doneness? The marks completely screwed up. So this one is disqualified. This one is really too dark, so the marks are no good. So I need to figure out on a try hard, right, Chris? There's a lot of fat that's bubbling, right? So I need to figure out a better way to control the fat bubbling. Is there any tips you have on how to control the fat bubbling?
It's well, one tip is while you're trimming and pinning with a skewer, I would hold down or push down the hard fat and then skewer it. That way it's depressed in the steak. Then less likely it will, do that, pop up. We'll do it on both sides. So I would, press it down and then pin it, then flip it over again and press it down and pin it. So on both sides it's depressed.
Now, this is the spinalis. This is the heart. So do the judge eat the heart or they don't eat the heart?
They will only eat the spinalis or the tri heart. So
the heart is nothing. The heart doesn't do anything. So like the heart is here, the heart is here. So do I cut that for the judges or no?
They'll eat both the spinalis and tri hearts. They don't eat the eye. Something they don't eat. Yeah.
Okay. So I got to make sure I cut the eye, the tri heart, so that it looks like So I need to taste the tri heart, right? Because
and another thing you can do, Harry, is to test your texture. They use a plastic plastic knife.
Okay, yeah. So this is my simulation of a plastic knife. So it's a little bit, so I should use a plastic knife, right, instead of a metal knife. All right. So drum roll, please. Let me try this one here. So this is the sample number 1 for flavor and tenderness. Flavor is good. Saltiness is about right. Tastes a little bit bitter. So I guess the char was a little bit too aggressive. I'm tasting the char, so that's not good. So, flavor is okay. I didn't tenderize this, so it's a little bit not as tender as it could be. So moving on to sample number 2. Wait, hang on. Sample number 1, I gotta eat the try hard. Try hard piece here. So I think, Chris, my problem is I shouldn't get so much char, right? The char is bitter. So that's the problem is. All right, so remember to file next attempt, try not to get so much char on it. Try hard is very tasty. The char is not there. So tenderness is better. So the try hard tasted better than the spinatus. But it's not a perfect steak. It's not as good as what I've tasted before in other examples. Okay, let me try the next sample number 2. Sample number 2. Not enough salt. Flavor is good, but not salty enough. So I need to go back and write my notes. Sample my recipe number 2. I need to put more rub. Let me try the try hard now. Sample number 2 has good flavor. Recipe number 2, but the saltiness is off. So I gotta fix this. So if I cook it again, I'm gonna tweak recipe number 2. The recipe number 2, I added more of the shiitake powder. So I think the shiitake powder kind of offset the salt a little bit. So I need to kind of balance that, maybe up the salt. Also the sample number 2 had a nice pepper note. So I like the pepper note. Sample recipe number 1 didn't have the pepper note. So to up my game, I probably make a note to add more pepper to the sample number 1 formula. Okay, so that's the 2 formula. So passable, good for backyard, but Chris, not as good as yours. Since I've eaten yours.
What are you saying?
I had Chris as my benchmark.
When you say pepper, did you add fresh grounded peppers?
It was not fresh ground. It was a Costco pepper.
Oh, okay.
Third one is ready. Yeah. Okay, it's Costco. So again, right, the freshness of the pepper matters, right? So a lot of people, they buy the fresh pepper, right? Fresh pepper. And then there's many kinds of peppers in the world. There is Madagascar pepper. There's Telly cherry pepper. There is special kinds of pepper. So it all kind of depends on what objective you have, right? Okay, so this is the third one. It came off at around 136. 136. 136.3. 137. Oops. 137.5. 138. Uh-oh. So this one is overheating. So Chris, do I spray water, right? Emergency. Spray water. Cool it down, right? Okay, this one's over temp.
It's good.
Huh? Help.
Yeah.
It's okay. All right, I need to spray water. C'est la vie. I was too busy tasting the first 2 steaks. Wasn't paying attention to the third steak. So folks, don't try this at home, okay? Trying to cook 3 steaks at the same time. Not a good idea. All right, let me pull the skewers here. Do you pull the string when you do the indirect part, or you pull the string after you finish the indirect part, Chris?
I don't pull a string until it hits the box, the turn-in box. The reason for that is I'm afraid the muscles will split apart on me if I pull the string too early, or if I take out the string too early. Yeah.
And the other tip is when you pull the string, you gotta be very gentle, especially when the fat meets the meat. To pull the string too hard, the string might adhere to the fat, and then you end up splitting your steak. So I know that my curvature is here, so I'm gonna pull from left to right instead of right to left, because the curvature, I'm gonna use the curvature so that the string eases out without any piece of steak stuck to it, especially the fat. Okay, so let this puppy rest a little bit here. So we do the oil, clarified butter. And I'm supposed to rest 4 minutes, right, Chris?
Yeah, I would rest it for at least 4 minutes, 4 to 5 minutes.
And then you cover it or don't cover it? Should I cover it?
Oh, it depends on the weather. If it's too cold, I usually
about 60,
cover
65 in my backyard. 65 in my backyard now.
Yeah, I would cover it because that way it'll carry over to your desired temperature.
Okay, all right. So we'll focus on steak number 3 now. Okay, so while we are waiting for the 5-minute warning for the thing, I can answer any question from anyone on any topic.
Well, Harry, I was cooking at a KCBS contest, and they had a SCA event going on. And I went to the awards for the SCA, and I found it interesting that everybody that got a call explained what products they put on the steak. Is that something that you guys do as well in California, Chris?
Yeah. Some people like to brag about their, products because I think because they're sponsored too. And then, and for example, like they have this product line called the Arcus CP Combo, which is a combination of Hottie Toddy and John Lindsay's all queued up. So when you're part of that team, then yeah, when they go on the walks, they do promote it. So yeah, a lot of people do promote products on stage.
Which is very interesting. In KCBS, you're never given the microphone. On all the 300 KCBS contests I've done, I've never been given the microphone to say anything. Even though I won like a big prize or first place, they never give you the microphone to say anything. But in the SCA, everybody has something to say, which is very interesting.
Harry, we got to make our own combination rub team.
Chris, his team name is Mad Cat Barbecue, right? So we have Slap Your Daddy, and then we have another buddy, is Tri City. So we decided we want to call it the Tri City Slap Cats or something. Huh? So we'll be debuting our team.
Yeah.
All right, it's been about, let's see, 3.5 minutes. So I'm gonna wait 1.5 minutes, and that time's up. How time flies. Okay. If you guys need the time thing, this is the best one. I have a lot of ThermalWorks products, and this one with the four timers, it's very helpful. I used to use this to like time my brisket, but for steaks, this works really well because if you want to do 4 flips, you can program it to go 4 flips if you want. And then you want a rest period, you can program rest period. And then you will do a countdown and count out also. So, they don't pay me to say this, but this is like on sale right now. I think the Friday? The Friday? The Black Friday? They're getting like almost half price. So I bought actually a bunch of these because now I throw one in each, in my backyard, I throw one in my kitchen, and I throw one in each of my competition boxes. So I got 4 of these puppies. And the nice thing is they come in nice colors. So I have them all different colors. So if you are looking to spend some money, go check out these folks. They're having a Black Friday sale. So a lot of stuff is discounted. And I always like a bargain. All right, let's give this one a shot here now. So spinalis is on this side here. I'm going to cut their steak. Cut it this way so you can see it. Right down the middle here. So this one, the char marks are not bad, right? I mean, Chris, right? They're a lot better. This one is more presentable. If I present it this way, right? So the judges will judge you only on the eye, and they only judge the top part of the eye. So they're only allowed to judge this. Hang on, I got it wrong. Oh, wrong way around. Sorry. They're only allowed to judge this like that.
You're talking about doneness, yeah.
Yeah, doneness. Yeah. The appearance. Okay, they're only allowed to judge this part for appearance. They cannot judge the bottom part.
I actually don't know about that. I didn't know. I thought it was a whole thing as far as appearance goes.
Because the way I was told is okay. So this whole I'm an official, right? So this comes in. I do this first. Then I'm supposed to slide this thing like that, and then put the box. So the circle is here. This is the circle here, right? So it goes like this, right? And then the judges are only allowed to judge this and judge this for appearance. They're not allowed to judge this because I've already split the thing. Then each judge will then cut a piece out from the spinalis like so. I'll pretend to be a judge with a plastic knife, and we're gonna cut out 1 thumb size piece, and each judge will do it with his or her own ability here. So this is the appearance. So Chris, what do you think on this one?
That's perfect.
That's about 10, right? Yeah. So 136 was a lot better. So 134 was too soon, right? So now I learned something about cooking steaks. So 134 is this, 136 is this. So 136 will give you a better doneness score, and then the appearance score will be based on this part here, which is not bad, not perfect. I need some more work, but at least it's an improvement. So I'm better now at 1.5 hours later than I was 90 minutes ago. Okay, so I got to cook about 10,000 ribeyes to get my technique up. So I hope the first responders read ribeye, because I'm gonna pack all this up and give it away. All right, now to do the taste test. Let me try the taste test. Recipe number 3. So recipe number 3 was I added a little bit of fermented rice. So fermented rice is the umami ingredient. We'll try this one with the fermented rice. Wow, that is good. I like that. Okay, I'm gonna have another bite. Okay, hey guys, I found a new trick. I'm using fermented rice, an old 2,000-year-old Asian trick. So the fermented rice has a lot of umami. So I added fermented rice to the mula recipe. So recipe 1, recipe 2, recipe 3. Recipe 3 has the fermented rice. So works really well. Saltiness is about spot on. However, no pepper note. So I'm going to take the pepper from number 1, put it into number 3. And number 3 will be my next formula. So then my next sample, number 4, will be number 3 improved. So this is how we improve recipes. We taste them, we find out what's missing. In the next iteration, we incorporate all the lessons learned, and we see we will up the game. So this one has the best taste. This one has the best pepper note. So what I'm missing right now is a little bit of garlic note. So in my next example, I'll cook it with the rice, fermented rice, a little bit more pepper, and then I'm going to do another version with more garlic. So you can see the way my brain works. I constantly am improving the formula to continue to up the game. So as I do successive generations and I take very, very detailed notes, I can then slowly improve my game and create better and better tastes. Because the way you win an SCA contest, imagine you're tuning a 5-cylinder engine. The 5 cylinders have to fire perfectly at every event. Even though the cook is only about 10 minutes, you have to execute 5 perfect firing cylinders in literally about, say, 20 minutes, right? So the 5 cylinders are the doneness, the appearance, the taste, the tenderness, and the overall impression. So that's my little process that I'm going to go through. And if you guys like, let me know, and I will drag you along in this painstaking journey, because there is no shortcut to perfection. Even LeBron has to shoot 10,000 free throws. There's no shortcut. Tiger Woods has to do 10,000 swings. So if you want to be a top world competitor, you just have to put in the time, the effort, and the blood, sweat, and tears. Okay, I'm gonna have another bite. This is really good. Man, that's good. All right, Chris. I'm gonna pass on some rice concentrate to you, okay?
I'm really excited to try that. When you say fermented rice, did you use sake?
No, this is you know is it called koji? I forgot the name. Is the white thing, the fermented rice?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know the name, but I found it online, so I bought from Amazon. So I'm gonna send you the link. You buy some and then sprinkle on the next contest. You're cooking next Saturday, right?
Oh yes. I'll definitely try that. I'll experiment.
Yeah, I gotta go teach a class in Seattle, so I have no play for Harry. Harry's gonna go to work. So.
But you'll make the December one, right? December 11.
No, I can't. Remember, I'm going overseas to Malaysia to visit my mom and dad. So I'll be back on the 11th.
Okay.
So so unfortunately, you guys get all have all the fun. I have to go and visit family.
Family's more important. Yeah.
Yeah. So I learned some important lessons today. So I hope you guys who watch this entire session also learned a few lessons. Cooking is iterative. Again, when you don't know how, you do what I do, which is cook by brute force. Brute force means that you try every combination, you find out which combination works, and then you use the better combination moving forward. So for those of you who are IT nerds, in computer science, there is a name for this algorithm. It's called the bubble sort. So what you do is you compare 1 and 2. If 2 is better, 2 moves forward to 3. And if 3 is better, 3 moves forward to compare 3 and 4. So eventually what happens is when you conduct this process again and again and again, you will bubble the best solution, the best recipe to the top. So people always wonder, how did I win first place USA? Sirloin, brisket, chicken, and pork and ribs and so on. That's the method I've used. It's just that it is very time consuming. So for those of you on this Zoom session, if you are a AI programmer, artificial intelligence programmer. If you can think of a better, faster way, let me know. We need to talk to see if we can develop the algorithm for us to do this on a computer, because this stuff takes too long, okay? Took an hour and a half to do this test, not to mention all the prep and everything. So if you guys can figure out a better, faster way to do this and model it using mathematics on a computer, we need to talk, because I think that that is a Nobel Prize winning idea. Okay. That's what's fun about cooking barbecue, is there's innumerable combinations, and you just have to have a curiosity looking at the steak as if it's a blank canvas. So an artist looks at a blank white canvas, has a bunch of paint, and paints that canvas. So for me, when I look at the steak, you see a steak, but to me, I see possibilities. So that's really the kind of, I guess, a mindset I have. And that's why I think it's really fun to be a competitor. So it's great to run a YouTube channel. It's great to cook briskets 50 different ways, but this is the part that brings me alive, and it really invokes the inner competitor in me. And this is kind of like what I really like to do. So come 2022, I'm going to have a lot of time to do that, because I don't have to do my 50-hour-a-week job solving problems, building data centers. And I'm recruiting my replacement now in HR. So I'm on the interview panel. So I have at least half a dozen good people who applied. So I'm going to pick my successor, throw the baton over the fence and throw the baby over the fence, and have, hey, not my problem anymore. Harry's going to be worrying about what pepper to put on his steak, not what server to install for a data center cloud.
Are you sticking around in California, or are you turning around and heading for greener pastures?
Oh, I will tell you an interesting thing. I've been shopping around for a used van on the internet. I found a van. So my goal is, I have so many friends all over the United States, right? And it's too hard for me to drive out to Tennessee, drive out to Memphis, drive out to Virginia. So guess what? My plan is to park a used vehicle in all my friends' homes, right? That way I just jump on the plane, LAX, Ontario is just 20 minutes away. I just fly out there, get in my rental van, and my rental van is gonna have SCA stuff in it, because like Chris will tell you, you can go cook an SCA contest with one folding table, right? One canopy and one box of doodads and a small little grill. So I'm gonna be setting up my little competition van in the Midwest. You saw my video with my buddy John, right? He's the guy with 400 acres, where I got a chance to drive his $70,000 lawnmower on his 400 acres. That was the funnest day of my life, I swear. To be sitting there in an air-conditioned cab with no insects flying at you and driving a $70,000 tractor over the pasture. And then the only thing I had to worry about was not to run over any cows that were giving birth in the grass. And I had just a fabulous time. I was smiling really, really from ear to ear. I never had so much fun driving a tractor lawnmower in my life. So I told John, hey, John, you need grass cut? Call Harry. Harry will fly out to Arkansas, and I'll mow your 400 acres for you. And then I will try not to run into the expensive $100,000 white bison that you have on your property. And I'll be one of those urban, urban rancher slickers. What do you call those people who live in Los Angeles, but they want to live the farm life? So I'm really going to be looking forward to that. And you guys will be following me as my Patreons, and also I'll be posting these videos for you, and I'm going to throw some of these videos on YouTube. So it's going to be a fun time. And if you have any crazy adventure you want me to do, let me know, because I'm flying to Iceland. I have some friends in Iceland. We're going to try to cook a steak on molten lava with a very, very long tongue. So I'm trying to figure out how to fabricate a telescopic tongue that's about 10 feet that I can bring into Iceland and extend it like a fishing rod, and then flip a steak onto molten lava without killing myself. So lots more adventures coming in the next chapter of the barbecue journey. Okay, we're good. All right, great. Thanks everybody for coming by. If you want to see more of these crazy ass Harry impromptu testing session, just let me know. I cook a lot at home, and if you want me to turn on my Zoom so you guys can follow me along and join me in the journey, just let me know. Always happy to oblige. And as always, if you guys have any question about barbecue, life, and beyond, you have my phone number. Call me, and I will do my best to help you out. So see you guys later. Bye.